So what does this mean? Is Mosul about to fall? And if it does fall, who gets it? Lieutenant General Michael Flynn is here, and General, it's all outlined in your book, very simply, how to win this fight. What should we know about this Mosul clash?
Yeah, the Mosul clash, first of all, we have a great military commander on the ground in Lieutenant General Steve Townsend. So if people were concerned in the United States of America about who we have leading this particular fight, they don't have to be. He's one of our best. I would tell you that the complexity of Mosul is probably, it's much greater than Baghdad. Even though there's fewer people, there's a couple of million people in Mosul, but the complexity of Kurds, Shia, Sunni, other aspects of the makeup of the demographics here on the ground is very, very dynamic. You're going to find it's not so much the assault on Mosul and whatever, you know, God hope that there's not that many casualties, but it's going to be sort of what's next. What's the day after look like?
General, I know you grew up a Democrat, but you're supporting Donald Trump. Why do you think as a candidate he'll be better to handle these kinds of situations? Well,
I think that we have gotten ourselves into a place here in Iraq, and you see what just happened in Yemen. You see what's going on in Syria. I mean, we have a sort of an unfolding or an unraveling of the Middle East. And it's happened over the last couple of years because we've given ourselves fewer options to be able to do the kinds of things we need to do. So I think that in Donald Trump's case, what we're really looking at is making sure that we are dealing with the right countries in order to solve this problem. And some of those countries are countries like Egypt, Jordan, and others in the Middle East that see the future of the region going to, you know, to pot. So I think that what we have to do is we have to work with the Arab nations as much as we're working, you know, with NATO and Iraq. And I will tell you that at the end of the day, the big victor here in Mosul is likely Iran.
Yeah, because
that's
their commanders are on the ground.
Yeah.
We're actually doing the fighting to give this city really to Iran.
Yeah, once it's all said and done, I mean, I think that the Shia, which is the Iranian-backed component of the Iraqi government right now, I think they're going to be the big winners here.
The whole premise from the United States point of view is stop them over there so they don't come over here.
Yeah.
You know, ISIS-inspired was, as it turned out, what happened in San Bernardino.
Right.
But before we knew that,
New York.
Chris Hayes over at MSNBC tweeted this out. He said, NBC News now reporting a U.S. citizen named Saeed Farouk believed to be one of the people involved in the shooting. And then, thanks to WikiLeaks, we know behind the scenes at the Hillary campaign, John Podesta, who's running things, said, better if a guy named Saeed Farouk was reporting that a guy named Christopher Hayes was the shooter.
Yeah, I saw that. That's really sad, actually. It's very disparaging. And, you know, sadly, what we're going to see is that when we conduct these attacks over in the Middle East, we're going to continue to see this rise of our own problems right here in the homeland. So the infiltration of radical Islamism inside of the homeland is very true. And that kind of commentary, believe me, the people that are our enemies, they're going to see that, and they're going to respond to that kind of stuff.
General, the thing is, the reason maybe you're not at the DIA right now is because you told them, because bin Laden's dead, and al-Qaeda, some operatives are in Gitmo, and some of others are dead, that the threat is actually worse and more dangerous. And they just got rid of you. Yeah. And now we're seeing that they just wanted to change it, as well as the daily briefing the president's getting was sanitized from CENTCOM. That's the same mentality.
Yeah, I mean, so this issue of bin Laden, and you know, and it keeps coming up in the election, in the campaign here. You know, we've killed Zarqawi, bin Laden, Anwar al-Awlaki. A lot of these guys are dead, but the problem continues to rise because it's an ideology that we are facing that we really have not come to grips with understanding. And the ideology that we are facing is this ideology of radical Islamism, and it's in more than, you know, it's more than 30 countries around the world. It's right here at home, and I keep reminding people that the FBI still has roughly 1,000 cases pending dealing right here in the homeland against this type of threat. So
does Donald Trump get that?
Oh, yeah, he absolutely gets that. And that's, I mean, the problem that we are facing is not something that's going to be solved with the attack into Mosul over the next couple of days here. We are going to have to deal with this ideology for a long time, and until we come to grips with it, I mean, we're going to be facing it. So you know, it's beyond San Bernardino, and it's Orlando, New York, Minneapolis, wherever this problem exists, and it exists here at home.
All right, General, thank you very much.
Thanks very much.
All right.